Hey, DeRacers. So we made a lot of changes to the tool, and this one is really important that you pay attention to because unlike historically when you just make a copy of the tool and you can run with it, this one is different. The reason why we had to do this was when we have so much data, Google will start to time out. And then when we started to have the ability to stack horses for your stable assessment, again, it would start to break and time out. So what we have done now is we have taken the traditional import data function that exists in Sheets and we've embedded it into the app script. So we had to write a bunch of code, and this code is going to go through and it more efficiently processes the data. And then we have automatic timers that will ping the server and do updates as well. So we have created a getting started page on this tool, and we have step-by-step guides to help you get this tool and using it for your own stable.
Yeah, so when you jump into the new 2.0 version of the stable assessment tool, the biggest thing that you're going to want to make sure you pay attention to is this getting started page. And like Vamp said, it is purely setting up triggers. They're called triggers in Google Sheets for app scripts. And you're just granting permission. That's all it is granting permission that we can pull that data down periodically.
All right, so try to make this thing as straightforward as possible. Hopefully this works in this example. The very first thing to do, of course, make a copy. Once you have a copy, you're going to press this little blue icon here. When you click this, this is going to now pop up this authorization request. And we have snapshots of each of these, but I just made a copy, so you'll see how quick this can be done. I hit continue. It's going to pop up. I'm going to confirm my email. And then right here, it's just basically saying this does not exist in the App Store. Do you want to trust this organization? You click that advanced, scroll down. Yep, that looks right. Go to the stable overview, unsafe, just because it doesn't know us as official people. Again, scroll down here and allow.
Yeah.
Now, what this is doing is that these trigger events, like you brought up, traditionally it was when you change your dropdown, that would engage a new scanning of the data. But since it's no longer doing that with the import function, the app script has to have this authorized trigger event. And so we built the same thing, and the logic just simply creates that trigger for you. So now I've gone through already step 1, 2, 3, 4. I've gone everything down here, and the very, very, very last thing that you do is just hit this. So I've already given it access, I've given it permission, and now I'm just doing the very final thing, and you can see it's finished. We're done. So now this tool should work just fine. Let's see, making sure. I'm going to go ahead and just do a quick run on this one. Now on the stable overview, we also created in a way that you don't have to have zeros anymore. You could just simply put in horses and you could skip your horses if they don't exist. Now this data is going to update every hour, but if you ever want to just force an update, you could press this icon here underneath the G column, and that will go ahead and update things for you.
Yeah, that's really important if especially if you're like adding a new horse to your list, right? Like you want to get that data pulled in automatically. Maybe you bought one, or maybe you've just bred a new horse and it's got a couple races under its belt. If you don't want to wait that hour, you can go ahead and force that update.
Okay, and then horse analysis, it works the same as before where you would go ahead and pick your horse. Now all the changes are taking place, and the app script should engage and get everything to process. So if everything's working right, that will start to come through.
So there's a couple things that I want to point out here. One, you've already got it set for a period of last month, and that's important. There's a change here as well. So leave that drop down if you don't mind, so we can see that. Vamp, can you click on the last month there? We have what we've done is we've done away with the last day option. Basically, that's not that important to see what you did in the last day, but you can still search for it by selecting date range. We've brought back the date range concept, and this allows you, if you go ahead and click on that, to set a date. Some people like to look at, maybe the last 3 months or the last week and a half, or whatever it is you're looking for. You can set specific dates and select the calendar dates through that drop down, and it will automatically sort that data. Now, the reason why that's important is, as was before, when you use the difference between the all period versus date specific periods, it does take a little longer to process those dates. So the one for last month, last week, date range is going to take a minute to update. However, this new trigger setup that the app script allows us to use will automatically run that update, and you don't have to hit the little refresh icon. So that's what's nice here. It'll be happening in the back end. It might take a few seconds for it to load, kind of depending on your period that you're using. But that has been added in, as well as we brought back the win percentage and podium percentage overall score in the upper left.
Very good. All right. And then, yep, so if I switch it to, let's go to all, just to make sure that's all functioning. All, of course, is going to go very, very, very fast. And then let's see, do we have any changes made on these pages?
Yeah, actually, if you do one more on the horse analysis real quick, if you don't mind jumping back, we actually made a minor edit, and this has been through weeks of kind of studying horses and looking at differences that we've seen. In the upper right-hand corner, the score for getting an A class classification is now 15. And that won't mean a whole lot unless you've dug into the way that we calculate that, but it was previously 17, and it's now been brought down to 15. We found that this allows a more balanced number of horses to have A's and B's. So that has changed. And then if you switch back over to average and win percentage, as you were starting to show there, the biggest change here is that we've actually added a separate section down below. So there's two now. It previously was just fastest average. We now also include your best win percentage. And these, again, when you've only got a couple horses in your list, may not be that different. But it allows you to see scoring and ranking for your stable based on a couple of different major categories. We've also added columns in, I believe it's O and N and O, where you've got the win rate and the weighted win percentage. So you can see those scores as well. They weren't there previously.
Fantastic. And then it's nice and clean, the horses. So in your stable overview, again, I have 2 horses, and then way down here at 28, everything should automatically filter and sort itself. So you come over here, it's bringing everything to the top. If this is not functioning for you, if you're not able to get data, it is highly likely that your triggers are not working. I could show you a little bit of that. If you want to find out why, in your extensions, okay, that's showing. And then when you click on app script, this is going to open up the backend code. This won't let me do it here, unfortunately, because I got to switch accounts. But if you go into the app script, there's on the far left side, there's a section that just shows triggers. And you should have 2 different triggers that get embedded into your account. If you are not seeing those triggers, then that means that you just need to go back to the getting started guide and just follow through this one, press the buttons, make sure you give it authorization for that account, and then that should work just fine. If those 2 triggers appear, everything should flow.
Yeah, you just got to make sure here on that number 6 that you did that a second time. A lot of times people will trigger the triggers initially. It goes through the whole permissions. You grant it access to your email account or your Google account, and then you authorize it and you allow it to be set, but you then didn't actually run the script. And that's that number 6 in the list. You got to make sure you hit that button, hit that icon, and that'll set those triggers. Now, if you don't mind going to the breeding and pace scoring, I just wanted to point out that we have added that same icon here. Yep. If you load a new horse into the dam, sire, or full cell, you will need to hit that icon to rerun the scoring. And that will give you the different data sets for those.
All right, guys. So make sure that you are updating to the DeRacers Stable Assessment 2.0, or if you come to this link and it is higher than 2.0, just make sure that you are going with the latest version that we release. And if you have any problems, hit us up on Discord. Our team has been vetting this for about a day, and we've fixed a couple bugs. It should be running smoothly now. So we hope that we can give it over to everybody, and this will make it a lot easier for you to do stable assessment and to get better stability out of this tool.